Cheer team. So I went around a few of the museums in Longreach over the weekend, and I thought I'd show you guys and just show how all these people building, leveling their stuff up ended up actually, creating the outback and what it is today. So the outback took all types to get going. There's a drover, there's a shearer, and you'll see a lot of others along the way. Here's a cabin, an old school cabin. The living was pretty basic back then, but it got them by. So here's a full scale one, and they had to build these themselves, chop down the trees, and put it all together. So there's a whip table there, make the whips on it. But yeah, there you go. Wasn't much to it. Probably would have built a little bit to sleep into, but yeah, fireplace, table, pretty much basic. There's the tools there that they used to build them, and there's a setup of an old blacksmithing table. So pretty much everything there, they were starting from scratch, built it all up themselves. And these were cool, little infinity windows, and they were showing different stages of the crops and how the outback would have looked like during different times. That's what it looks like walking up to one. And then yeah, quite a cool illusion in there. Makes it seem like it goes on forever. So some of the people that actually helped build the outback with their knowledge of the desert and that were the Afghanis. And they came over from Afghanistan with all their camels and that. And they had a pretty hard time. They shared all their knowledge, helped with carts like these, pulling camels, and still they faced a lot of racism. And near the end there, they were quite friendly with their camels. They'd never ride them, only walk them. And near the end there, they were actually told to shoot all their camels. And they love the camels that much, they just let them free in the desert. And so all the camels you see in the outbacks now are probably descendants of the ones the Afghanis let go. Here's some of their trinkets that got collected over the years. Quite different. Next up, we have the shearers. So I'm lucky to be a part of the shearing industry. But there's a tally book and some hand pieces there. The big old presses. Another press, I cranked on one similar to that back in New Zealand. And that's how they used to get the wool bales around. And that thing is fucking huge. It's about 2 stories high. My head was only just coming up to the wheels of it. So yeah, they would have had some big old beasties pulling them back in the day. There's a one-man stand and the old tin dog to help move the sheep. Next up are the farmers and the drovers. So they looked after the animals and moved them all around the outback. There's a drover set up there, real cowboy. And here's some of the paths that they used. You can pause it to have a good gaze, but the journeys they made were just absolutely phenomenal. I could only imagine what it was like to travel all that way in those days. As they got on, everyone figured out that they needed to communicate over long distance. So here you have a pedal radio and a few other bits and bobs of radios from over the years. Here's a windmill that was donated and the plaque telling you all about it. And of course, life was hard in the desert, so when everyone finally got back to town, they always figured out some fun and something to do. And they had no shortage of ideas of things to do for fun. Here's some old pictures of horse riding and rodeos. And it's really good, wholesome fun back in the day. So this is a saddle of a horse named Rocky Ned. He was a bit of a legend back in the day. They offered £100 if you could sit on him for 30 seconds, and I don't think many people got the £100. They also had endurance riding. They'd have balls, bands playing, racing horses, and boxing. So I didn't think it would have been that big, but turns out that there was a whole troop that used to go around Australia and come to the outback. Then of course there was the pub. One thing that surprised me about learning about the past of the outback was how many artists, songwriters, entertainers, and painters and poets there were. You know, you hear about the outback, it's all rough and tough, but yeah, it turns out a lot of them enjoyed singing and drawing and painting and things like that to pass the time when they're out in the bush. So yeah, I was quite surprised at that. Always thought it was rough and tumble. No time for stuff like that. Here's an old wool table fashioned into a rider's table. Here's an old water tank. I could only imagine what that water was like after a 50-degree day out in the fucking desert. Oof, I don't think there would have been any cold left. And of course, as time went on, some of the modes of transport really stepped up. I reckon my favourite part, though, was the Unsung Heroes Gallery. So these are the people that the history books miss, but the locals and the town stories didn't. And so these people filled in the blanks, and they've all got plaques all around, as you can see. And there's hundreds of them. There's books of it, everyone and their story and how they contributed to the outback. So all these people levelling up in their own way ended up building this outback region as we know it today. And I think there's something truly amazing about that. All these people together turn the uninhabitable into the habitable. So yeah, if you get a chance, go check it out. Stockman's Hall of Fame.
Hey, I'm about to go level up. I cannot settle for nothing. I never been regular. Always knew I could do better. I finally made it this far and I'm not looking back.